Do you push your weight around, feeling a sense of entitlement? Good morning, everyone. This is our reflection question for today.
Holy Spirit, make my heart open to the Word of God. Make my heart open to goodness. Make my heart open to the beauty of God every day. Amen.
In the aftermath of the bombing of the Twin Towers in New York in 2001, stricter controls in the airports globally were instituted. One of the measures was for people to remove their shoes, put them on a conveyor belt, and both their belongings and themselves go through X-ray machines. In 2002, two political giants in their respective countries were traveling, one from the Philippines and the other within the United States. This Philippine senator, one whose position was just 2 rungs away from the presidency, refused to remove his shoes for security inspection when he alighted at the San Francisco airport. He may have gotten his way at his local airport, but he forgot he was in a foreign land. As it were, he protested vehemently and showed his diplomatic passport. A columnist in a Philippine daily wondered why he was carrying a diplomatic passport and not an official one. He wasn't even an ambassador or part of the diplomatic corps. In contrast, the American vice president was traveling to Wisconsin from Milwaukee by plane. Passengers saw him being pulled aside for random security screening at the Reagan National Airport. "Sorry sir, you have to go through extra screening," said the security personnel. Not only his shoes but his briefcase and suitcases were searched. He happily obliged and even shook the hands of all the airport screeners afterward and thanked them for doing their jobs and asked them to keep up the good work. In today's Gospel reading, Jesus derided the attitude of many scribes and Pharisees who expected people to give them special treatment, such as being given seats of honor in the synagogue and gatherings and to be publicly greeted when they walk on the streets. Jesus compares them to tombs that have been whitewashed so that passers-by will not defile them by unknowingly walking over them. He accused them of moral impropriety and corruption, of neglecting justice and love, of pretending to be pious, but in truth are insincere and hypocritical. We too are guilty of pushing our weight around on people who we think are lower than us in status, position, and wealth. We see this on many occasions in supermarkets, on the road, in government offices, in airports, just about everywhere. When people utter these oft-repeated phrases, "Do you know who I am?" or "What are we in power for?" or "Who is the boss here?" such reveal to us the kinds of values one has. This sense of entitlement can deteriorate into a personality disorder that makes it difficult to have deep and lasting relationships. Clinical psychologist Arlene Kunchik's "What is a Sense of Entitlement?" expounds on this issue with authority. She's the author of Therapy in Focus, What to Expect from CBT for Social Anxiety Disorder, and 7 Weeks to Reduce Anxiety. In general, a person with a sense of entitlement has little or no empathy for others. They believe the world revolves around them. "The world owes me" is a common statement they make. They feel that rules can be bended and special favors must be granted to them. When they reach a certain level of success, they expect people to kowtow to their every whim. When someone has a problem with them or disagrees with them, they will take every avenue and make every effort to make the opposition feel that they are wrong, sometimes in the most dreadful manner. These are the people who will make a scene of monstrous proportions when their demands are not met. They will bully their way and bring down anyone who stands on their path. They can become very greedy and take others for granted, are always hungry for praise and admiration, and secretly struggle with insecurity. Arrogance masks their fear for not having enough of everything, from resources to admiration and support. They are the perfect candidates for depression. They may put up an exterior of being well-mannered and nice, but deep down inside, this is not how they truly feel about themselves or other individuals around them. We can fight this sense of entitlement by, first, recognizing that we are guilty of this. Knowing and accepting is the first step. We ask ourselves why we are often discontented, always disappointed, ever critical of others, and always comparing ourselves with others. When we begin to understand that the world does not revolve around us, We become kinder and more empathetic to others. Second, practicing treating others with respect and committing to acts of selflessness without expecting anything in return. We remember Jesus and his unselfishness and sacrifice to die on the cross. We too can die to ourselves many times because we know God is enough. He will always sustain us, and He will never abandon us. Third, celebrating the success of others even as we feel we have failed. We affirm and appreciate people more and praise them for doing something good. Fourth, making a difference in the lives of those who have none. Volunteer time, effort, and resources to help the poor. As you see the struggles of others to live decent lives, your gratefulness multiplies and you become more open to give rather than be given. Fifth, we pray for forgiveness for overstepping our boundary many times. We pray for the grace to be humble and remain humble. We pray that we will always see the face of Jesus in others when we start to push our weight around. Indeed, Jesus' commandment of love is sacrificial, always giving, and centered on others.